Hello and welcome to the TMZ podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton.
I'm Charlie Neff.
And today we're talking about women.
Yes.
Sydney Sweeney is slamming Hollywood, saying that the women empowerment movement is fake.
Fake on fake.
Wow. I was surprised. Denzel Washington, a couple really interesting stories about him this morning.
Mm-hmm.
One involving a gay kiss and the other involving King Charles. So they're
Yes.
separate. They're separate stories. They're not.
Yes.
It's not the same.
Not the same movie.
He didn't kiss King Charles. And finally, we'll wrap it up with some animal news.
On Peanut the Squirrel, R.I.P. How is it that every time we're doing Peanut the Squirrel, you're wearing a squirrel shirt?
I know. It's become my favorite T-shirt now.
I was going to say you literally just wore that last week.
I know.
Charlie, you have a big wardrobe.
I know, but when you like a piece of clothing, are you allowed to wear it once a week?
No.
How often can you wear a piece of clothing you like?
I don't know. I just know that has like pit stains already, and you've worn it 3 times.
I know. It's hard. It's a very distinct shirt. So
It is.
probably give it a couple of weeks. Anyway, on to our first story. Sydney Sweeney is coming for women in Hollywood. I'm surprised.
Yes. So she is calling out Hollywood over authenticity of its attitude towards female empowerment. So she did an interview with Vanity Fair and she slammed the entertainment industry's mantra of women empowering other women. And she said it was fake. So she was asked about a previous incident in which a female producer disparaged her physical appearance and talent. Do you remember that?
Yeah, this Carol Baum, who was like a producer on something, she said she's not pretty. I
Yep.
don't get why she's famous. It was kind of mean. It was mean.
Yes. And so Sydney said it's very disheartening to see women tear other women down, especially when women are so successful in other avenues of their industry, see younger talent working really hard, hoping to achieve whatever dreams they may have. And then they're trying to bash and discredit any work that they've done. She said, this entire industry, all people say is women empowering other women. None of it is happening. All of it is fake and a front for all the other crap that they say behind everyone's back.
Wow. All of it is fake?
Yeah.
None of it is happening?
I mean, I think like naturally women have just been pitted against each other for so many years that there is a natural competitiveness to each other.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like, I know we're trying to embrace, like she said, like women empowerment, but also like, oh, there's room for everyone. But it's hard to break this like 100 years old thing that has been engraved in us, in women, to be competitive against another woman. Like if 2 women are fighting over a man, oh my gosh, you will see claws come out.
I agree with that. But I just think that all of female empowerment in Hollywood is fake. Like, that can't be true. What about this Barbie movie?
Yeah.
The Barbie movie, is by Margot Robbie, starring Margot Robbie. So many women in it.
Women, female director.
It's just it's just the first example I think of, but I
don't know that that's necessarily what she's talking about. She's not talking about, oh, great that women are working in Hollywood. That's not what she's talking about.
What is she talking about? Women.
She's talking about what I said, like, how it's like, let's say J-Lo versus Mariah Carey, okay? It's like both of them can exist. Do they both think they can exist at the same time? No. It's like, oh, who's J-Lo? I don't know her.
I don't know.
Like, it's
disagree.
that. It's like pettiness against women versus women. But look, I do think slowly we're chipping away at that ingrained harshness that women have against each other in the entertainment industry. But again, it's like, it's this whole thing where, Britney Spears, like we say, there can be no other Britney. But then it's like, Christina Aguilera consistently being compared to Britney, Mandy Moore, Jessica Simpson.
Do that. It's just, I think it's bullshit. No,
but a lot of it is women doing that.
I know, but of course, yes, we compare entertainers, we compare guys as well. Like, we compare entertainers.
Do we compare guys?
Yes, we do. If they're similar in similar lanes, we'll say who's better, who's the new Michael Jackson.
But it happens way more with women.
Potentially, yes, there is still sexism in Hollywood. But to say that all female empowerment in Hollywood is fake is just crap.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not all. I think she's, being extreme there.
I wonder why.
To it.
I wonder why, even if she feels this way, why is she expressing it? Like, you are a woman in Hollywood and now you're like putting down other women around you who are claiming to empower.
Of her experience.
Because of this Carol Baum who said this mean thing.
Obviously her.
Obviously, but then to put down the entire gender in Hollywood, you're saying that you're not putting down men. She's saying the female empowering females is fake. So you're putting down other women in order to make this point, which I disagree with. I have no idea why she's saying it. She's also in the past had linked to sort of like conservative ideas. Remember there was like a party she went to and everyone was dressed like MAGA and like Blue Lives Matter and that sort of stuff. So, and then she tried to sort of get away from like, no, I mean, Black Lives Matter. She tried to like become a bit more sort of even on both sides.
And make it connect to this.
When she says this, disparaging women in Hollywood, it sounds very conservative to me.
Does it?
Absolutely, yes.
I don't know. I definitely think there's something to it where like women are very jealous of other women.
I agree with that.
And there is something to be said where it's like, oh no, like take the high road. Everyone can be in the same space. But then like there's still that jealousy. And remember, Sydney Sweeney is super sexy.
Yeah.
And when you're a sexy woman, even more women are going to criticize you and be fake behind your back because they're jealous.
What would you know?
Well, I'm not. I don't.
No, I'm joking.
I'm definitely not sexy.
You are.
She is sexy.
Yeah, she is. But why are you putting down your gender, everyone in it, saying everything is fake?
You don't think Sydney Sweeney, the sexiest like actress, has experienced hatred from other women?
I do, but talking in these generalities about your gender in your industry, I think is like a head scratcher to me. Like, why are you saying this?
Well, it's easy for you to say. You're not a woman.
Well, I guess we'll have to put a pin in it for now. It's just an interesting story. I think it's up for debate, and I just head scratcher. Sydney Sweeney is sexy, though. I will give you that.
It's very sexy.
Okay, on to our next story. Denzel Washington. He is the star of the new Gladiator movie, and interestingly, he is a gay gladiator, or at least he has gay tendencies in the movie.
Well, no one's going to know that.
Well, they will actually, because
I thought they removed it.
He spoke to like a gay publication.
Yep.
And told them about a gay kiss that he had that was removed from the movie. Let's listen to it now.
I actually kissed a man in the film, but they took it. They cut it. I think they got chicken.
Oh.
Yeah, I kissed a guy full on the lips, and I guess they weren't ready for that yet.
I love that he's like, I kissed a man full on the lips.
But I mean, his character in this is a former slave who plots to control Rome.
Yeah.
And then as part of his character development, there are references in the movie that are still in the movie about Denzel's character and other men, different little like winks.
Like hints. Like maybe like sexually eyeing somebody.
Just references, but they never. And then he says that a plot point in it is he kisses this man square on the lips.
Yep.
And then kills him.
Oh, shoot.
Like the kiss of death type thing.
Oh, wow.
And now they've removed the kiss, but I mean, he didn't say they'd removed all the other stuff. No, like references.
Like small stuff.
But it's interesting that, the studio like pushed it so far in terms of, that sort of.
But do you think they removed it because they are like, we don't want gay scenes? Or do you think they removed it because maybe it just didn't fit? I mean, they always overshoot, right? Like, there's so many times where actors will film something and then they are like, oh my gosh, this is going to be my big break. And they go and they see the movie and their part has been totally cut.
True. They do cut a lot. So, I mean, maybe it's not political what they're doing, but maybe it is. Maybe it's a reaction to sort of like, I wanted to say if Kamala Harris had won the presidency and like, as we sit here today, more than half the country is conservative.
Yeah.
And so I think that maybe if you're wanting to put out a blockbuster, a male this is a macho gladiator killing guys. Like this is what the guys want to go see.
Very macho.
It's very macho. And for you to have like a gay kiss scene, maybe they go,
maybe they look twice at it and they're like,
maybe.
Our audience, we now know the audience is largely Republican and
Maybe. I think so.
I have to say I'm very excited for this movie.
Are you more excited for this movie or Wicked?
I'm going to see both. My husband really wants to see Gladiator II, and I do want to see it as well. Like the first one was obviously iconic. I'm probably more excited for Wicked, but my husband also is like a theater geek, so he's very excited to see Wicked as well.
I'm excited for both. I'm more excited I feel like Wicked is for the women, Gladiators for the guys.
Like an Oppenheimer / Barbie
Totally.
situation, so
Totally.
the same day.
Do you think they purposely put out these movies, that one for the girls, one for the guys on the same days, just because it creates this...
Like,
what one would you rather?
War, kind of,
Yeah.
little competitiveness. Well, I thought Wicked was like pushed back because they didn't want to be on the same release date as like another blockbuster.
Okay, maybe that's right.
Yeah, and it just so happened to fall on this day. But
I'm gonna see
both.
I'm excited for Moana 2, mostly.
Oh, okay. I
Moana
didn't
2.
even have that on my radar.
Oh, so on my radar. I love Moana 1.
Oh, cute. Can you sing the song?
Let it go. Why don't
No,
I sing
that's-
Elsa? Why am I singing Elsa?
God, Moana.
Also, Denzel Washington at the premiere in London, King Charles rocked up to the event and had a bit of an awkward run-in with Denzel. Right, let's listen to it now.
But I didn't know if I was supposed to grab you or not.
So are you playing some friend?
I'm just, an awful. I'm a lovely man. You'll see. I'm a lovely chap and
Are you right?
doing my best.
You've been in so many films. It's fantastic.
Thanks.
Okay.
That's so weird.
Did you catch that?
So King Charles extends his hand,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And Denzel is like scared to shake it, and he says, "I didn't know if I was supposed to grab your hand," because obviously there's like so many different
Right.
things
Do I
with the
curtsy?
royals,
Do I-
right?
Yeah.
Like you don't wave a certain way, you're supposed to do a different way. And then so he kind of like stumbles over his words, and then Denzel says, I'm a lovely man, you'll see. I'm a lovely chap.
Whatever that means.
What? I think he's just nervous. I'd be nervous too, but it's weird to see an A-list celebrity like Denzel Washington be nervous.
He was like on his feet and not
Yeah.
knowing what to say.
Yeah.
It was awkward. All right, on to our last story. Peanut the squirrel was rabies free, but they condemned the poor little guy to death a week before they kidnapped him.
Yeah, raided the house.
Raided the house. That's right.
This is so sad. And same with Fred the raccoon.
Yeah, shout out to Fred. Sorry, Fred.
Yeah, so obviously you guys know this story. Peanut the squirrel, his parents are super pissed off because there was a raid at their house. Peanut was taken along with Fred the raccoon.
They thought they had rabies.
Right, because Peanut had bit one of the officers and they were worried there was rabies. So
No, the thing was when they came in for the raid,
Right.
that's when the bite took place.
well, yeah, I'd bite
But a
somebody
week,
too.
but the story is a week before the raid, they had already, signed the document saying we're going to put these animals down.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Right.
Because the whole thing was like, oh, no, we had to put them down because that's how you test for
Yeah.
rabies. And there was this whole thing like, oh, they had rabies.
Well,
and
they
then,
didn't.
Right.
Now,
Test results reveal.
now Peanut's like a sort of political icon. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like government overreach. Maybe Peanut's human father should have done what? Did you hear this story about Piff, the dog that died? Like this famous dog
It's
that died.
so sad.
Well, it's not that sad. Dogs die. But the owner had previously taken like the genes from Piff and had cloned him into Piff 2. And you got these two little Pomeranians who, they look the same. They're Pomeranians and all. Why don't you just buy another dog? But anyway, Piff, this famous Piff has been cloned. You need to clone your pets before they die if you want to hang on to them. Like, that's what should have happened to Peanut.
Wait, what do you mean?
You need to get some of their DNA.
Right, but you can have it after death.
Oh, you can
can't
get their DNA after death, yeah.
Yeah, right. Their hair, a little lock of hair.
So they need
or fur.
They need Peanut and Fred's bodies back from the morgue or wherever they're being housed.
Get the fur.
Get the fur, get the DNA
and
somehow.
clone just for $60,000.
Cheap. This is a famous,
Cheap.
It's the most famous squirrel in the world.
Honestly, if I could go back and clone my Miss Kitty, who passed away almost a year ago, R.I.P. Miss Kitty, I honestly would.
Just dig her up.
Oh, she was cremated.
She was cremated?
Yeah, I have her ashes in like a little box.
Oh no.
Yeah, and her little like paw print. It's actually a really sad memorial. In
Why
our
didn't you just
house.
wave them out in the street like all the ashes?
No, why would I do that in the street?
It's just.
I want her by my side. R.I.P. Miss Kitty.
R.I.P. Miss Kitty. Okay.
You remember Miss Kitty?
I remember Miss Kitty. It's an ugly cat. Well,
Hey,
cute in an ugly way.
cute, ugly. Okay, I'll give her that.
Okay, get to our comments you guys have been leaving. Thank you very much. D Beautiful says, how are women supposed to empower women without being a role model first?
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Gina says, ugh, she's saying that because she can. Leave her alone, Charlie. It's her right.
Which Charlie?
I think that's me.
Oh, okay.
Wendy H, women aren't any more petty than men. I agree. I think men are just as petty. We compare each other just as much. We're just as emotional.
Do you
probably.
guys?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. David says he doesn't want to clone his dog, Oreo. Come on, Charlie. Cotton? I mean, would you clone your pet going forward if you really love them? $60,000?
I love my cat Pretzel very much. I would honestly clone it. If I had the $60K that was like equivalent to $1 to me, sure, I'd try it out.
And you just have Pretzel as your pet for the rest of your life. You just go, this is my
Yeah,
Pretzel number 2, Pretzel number 3. Pretzel
Totally.
number 4.
I mean, I heard like when you do clone a pet, it's like literally the same personality too. It's not just like, oh, they look the same. It's also the same like characteristics and yeah.
Question, if I like cloned myself
Yeah.
and then like a replica of me was just like sitting right here,
Yeah.
how would I know who I was?
It's a little too deep for
Okay,
me.
never mind. Never mind. And finally, California Conversation says, when I was doing my 3 years in prison, TMZ would always be on. So it honestly got me through a lot of hard times in my cell when we were on lockdown.
Aww.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I love that. I love that we could bring joy to people all over.
I interviewed a rapper recently, 03 Greedo, shout out.
Okay,
Grape
shout
Street.
out.
And he was like a prisoner for a while, and he said the same thing. And he said that like there was a fight over the remote. Everyone, like, you know, most people would want TMZ, and if you wanted something else, it was, you know, whatever. And so when I shot my clip with him, he was like giving shout outs to everyone behind bars. He's like, hey,
No
I'm self-locked.
way.
And he's like giving shout
That's
outs.
so funny.
He knows they're going to watch it. Yeah. I mean, I love that we're big in prison.
Do you know that we get like fan art from people in prison that spend like hours drawing
I
us
don't.
and painting us? I saw one and it was pretty remarkable.
They paint you?
Yeah, I was one of like obviously many people, but they put me as a skinny cheerleader. I was like, ooh, I'll take it.
Kind of like they're drawing your like skinny cheerleader body. What are they doing like over the drawing?
Making me look realistic.
All realistic? All right, Charlie, thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
And we'll see you guys here tomorrow.
Bye.